Hi everybody, it's Lyn from Lyn's Crafts Designs. Today I've got this little skull that I created when I did something else with the epoxy sculpt the other day. I just had a tiny bit left, so I just created this little skull. You know, it's rock hard and completely cured. So I used the amazing mold putty and I made a mold of it, which is also completely cured. So I've been making, sorry about all the ums, I've been making my castings out of this Sculpey Ultralite. I've used it for tons of things, but I just never thought to use it for my castings. One of the things I love about it, and I love paper clay too, so nothing to be said about that, but one of the things I love about it is it's really soft and malleable. So it works fantastic in the molds. I mean, it's so squishable. Like I said, I've used it to carve lots of things, and I used to do lots of the little accessory pieces back when I did mermaids and stuff. But I mean, really, just like that. Now this one's a little harder to pop things out of because it's so small. Especially to pop them out without distorting it. But you can bake in it. So you could just fill the mold and pop it in the oven and bake it. Or you could fill the mold, pop it in the freezer for just a second or two. Then it would be firm enough to demold. Okay? So that's a great little tip. This, among others, this was what I did the other day. So this is a little frame I did. I mean, look at the detail it picks up. It really does. So this is the frame I did the other day, and it's just one of those from Michael's, I believe. Excuse me, my nose was running. It's got a couple of little butterflies up here. I don't know how well you can see those, but it's got some roses and stuff around the edges. I really liked the piece. I just never found anything to do with it. So look how perfectly he fits. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to paint up these two pieces. Just pretend that this is a piece of Ultralite, because eventually it will be. Gonna paint up these two pieces, put them together, and that's what we're gonna do today. So I'll be right back. I've got the Deco Art Extreme Sheen in the silver, and the brand really doesn't matter, just something silver, preferably in acrylic paint. I've got a pretty yucky, rough, scruffy brush. for no other reason, and that's what I grabbed. I possibly could have grabbed something a little finer, and as you can see, I should have gessoed this first, so we're going to back up a little bit. Okay, that will give me a chance to get a little bit softer brush. I'm just going to gesso this first. I'm not used to having to gesso first because acrylic paint, well, the Deco Art brand anyway, does tend to really adhere well to my Primo clay. Okay, so I'm just gonna gesso this and I'll be back. Okay, because today I seem to be doing everything backwards. I've just rolled out a little silver Primo on a 4, done my texture stamp on the back, whatever texture stamp you use. Unfortunately, I think mine has been discontinued, so I won't share the link for you. Again, a little bacon bond on the back. Okay, really and truly, that's all you can squeeze out with all your might. That's ridiculous. I'm used to that happening when it's cold, but let me tell you, it ain't cold. $79 degrees overnight is not cold. So I'll just place the little frame on there. Do a halfway decent job of cutting it out. Once again, I'll just run my finger along the edge to kind of soften those cut edges a bit. Then, just because we're little enough, this frame already had a hole through the top of it, which I normally don't do. Then I'll bake this in the oven just for like 30 minutes, just to have that set up. Alright, and then I'll be back. Okay, just something I forgot to say about the Sculpey Ultralite. It is polymer clay, so you do have to bake it in the oven. Okay, that being said, this is now out of the oven and ready for a coat of silver paint. So again, the type of acrylic paint isn't necessarily important, although I'm using the Deco Art Extreme Sheen. So just give it a good coat. I'll probably do it front and back. After I make a complete mess. And the reason I'll probably do it front and back is just because the front being white, I'll need to do the edges. And the difference in the two will look a bit striking if I don't paint the front and back. And it'll probably need a couple of coats. Okay, so when it's dry, I'll be back. Now it's got like 2 coats of the silver on. I'm going to take some just black acrylic paint. The brand doesn't matter. Once again, this happens to be Deco Art Americana that I never can open very easily. Just 1 single drop, and that was a big one. A few squirts of water, just to thin it down, super thin to make a wash. And I'm just gonna paint it on. Just paint it on everywhere. Okay, I'm even going to paint the sides. The top. And yep, even the back. Just because I want it all to match. Okay, then I will just dab at it a little bit with a paper towel. Front and back, it won't matter. Okay. Then for now, I'm just going to set that aside to dry. Once again, I can't seem to touch it without getting it all over me. Now I've got the warm white. If you can't find a warm white, just add a drop of like an ochre color to your white. Just going to take that same paintbrush, this is actually a soft brush, and besides painting my finger, I'm just going to paint the skull. Okay, now inside his eye sockets won't necessarily matter because, once again, I'm going to do a black wash. But I'm going to let that dry first. So, I'll be back. Okay, and while that is continuing to dry, I'm going to go back with the silver and a flat brush and just give it a little dry brush action. Now on camera this won't show up much, but in person it really does. Okay, something just like that. Now, when I say I'm going to set it aside to dry, what I normally do is I just hit it with my heat gun just a bit. That not only sets the paint, but it also dries it a bit. If you don't have a heat gun, you can just throw it back in the oven for 5 minutes or so. Okay, so once again with the drop of black paint, it's like a running joke. But luckily for me, a handy baby wipe, a handy craft wipe will take care of it. All except the bit I get under my fingernail. Back to that nice soft little brush. Now, this time, I'm gonna try. Unsuccessfully, not to get it on me quite so much. Okay, then once again, just gonna hit it with my paper towel to kind of dry it off. But I do want that to remain in the eye sockets. Okay, I'm just gonna let it dry a little bit. Okay, now I've just got a little 3D matte gel. Some glossy accents would work. A little bacon bond and throw it back in the oven would work. But this matte gel will just hold it pretty much immediately. Okay, it gives me a little bit of wiggle time. Okay, then there it pretty much is. Our next in line for the Halloween pendant conga line, however you want to say that. Okay, first we had the hand, now we've got the skull. Okay. So I hope you've enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. The links to my social media will be listed below. I'll also add the link to the Extreme Sheen paint. The link to my Etsy shop will be listed below, where I have most of my jewelry listed. I also have an Amazon shop. Bye for now.